Check all the bearings?
I did. I checked all the bearings. I got it ready to go.
These are Group 4 soybeans that we're about ready to plant. Pretty good. They're not cracked.
Well, we want to get the planter folded out.
Yep. You can go to work then.
I can go to work. That's right.
I think it's ready to swing.
Okay.
I'm Trey Lamb, and I'm a farmer here in southern Oklahoma.
And I'm Trey's daughter, Jean Lamb. I'm a fourth-generation agriculturalist.
The cover crop basically keeps something on the soil living, and it also provides cover, which cover means it covers the soil. We don't want the bare dirt showing.
I'm really excited to be back farming here because we are doing cover crops. We're not doing things the way that they've always been done or traditionally, and we're doing a lot of experimentation to make the environment better, not only here on our farm, but for the people in our community.
So we're making this track here, and that's where the seed will be, right here in that cutaway. Very little soil disturbance there. And you have the residue from a previous wheat crop, a previous corn crop, and a previous soybean crop. So we have 3 years worth of residue still protecting the soil. And that's the creek that runs right along the edge. 20 years ago, we would put double the phosphorus fertilizer on so that we could build the soil back. Well, we'd put that on and it'd come a big rain and we would lose a lot of that. So all of this is drained down there. So if we have a crop growing here, the water comes off clear. But in those times when it was plowed or turned under and there was exposed dirt, the water would be just straight red. And that was carrying away the soil and the nutrients.
I like my neighbors, but I don't want them to have my topsoil. And planting these crops keeps it here and keeps it in the family.
Hard red winter wheat, we actually realized that we need to make it into a system that involves other diverse crops growing in the off-season and livestock.
I love cattle. I've been around cattle my entire life. Cows have a personality. Every cow's different. Every cow raises a different kind of calf.
Livestock are an important part of the whole soil health system. By having the cattle out here, their manure being deposited here, it just recycles that and builds the soil.
I'll pull in with the feed truck, and I got a big bale of hay on the back, and some of the cows' ears will perk up, and they know it's feed time, and they're excited. And it's probably more about the feed than it is me, but I still get a big kick out of it.
Most of our streams are impaired or polluted based on what runs off ag land. By voluntarily making these changes, by having these plants there 365 days a year, it keeps that water going into the soil rather than off, and we can clean up that water.
And with some help from the Department of Agriculture, from the Natural Resource Conservation Service, we were able to make that decision.
My name is Brandon Chandler. I'm the district conservationist in Garvin County. The Natural Resources Conservation Service is a federal agency under the Department of Ag that assists landowners in finding solutions to their resource concerns. Trey, this is what we call soil out of place. Just gets here, by the runoff.
You can see by the color of it that it's carrying a lot of topsoil. Well, our whole adoption of cover crops and no-till farming are just so that we don't lose this topsoil, so it doesn't get in the water, so it doesn't carry it off of our farms. It used to run clear. You can imagine what it costs to clean up this kind of water where you can drink it. The water quality benefits are something that we can be proud of and something that we can tell our kids and our grandkids that's something that we were a part of. But really, it's what happens on this farm that's the most important for our family.
So we're going out to a gentleman named Larry Keenan. He's got Red Angus livestock that he's running out there. Morning, Larry.
How are you?
I'm good, yourself?
Good.
Yep.
We've got a commercial cow-calf operation, predominantly Red Angus cattle. Got a couple Red Angus bulls and started trying Red Angus and absolutely fell in love with them. Just because we're small producers does not reduce our responsibility to take care of the land, the water, the resources. So this is Sandy Creek.
Hey, there was a snake.
This creek was our primary water source for our cattle. The cattle were constantly standing in the creek water, dirtying up, not the most preferred thing for the cattle to be doing. So we learned about some of the programs that NRCS used to assist producers that wanted to increase the quality and quantity of water in this area. And so we contacted the NRCS representative here.
So this is the fence that was put up through our financial program to remove cattle access to the creek area.
And the buffer zone that we have here around the creek naturally filters any of the runoff. We got cow manure and all types of things that might be included in that runoff. So this is one of the water points that we installed after fencing off the creek area. This one water trough will basically provide water to 3 different pastures, which will allow us to incorporate a rotational grazing system. How are y'all?
Doing well. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Larry Keenan.
I'm Shannon Phillips. It's very nice to meet you.
When we made the decision to fence it off, we were basically eliminating our only water source for the cattle.
Well, it is really one of the best things that producers can do because a healthy riparian buffer can reduce pollution to streams by up to 90%. We never step on private property, and so you've given us permission to do water quality monitoring here. So should we start out over there? So we're going to be doing a fish collection today. We're looking for a lot of different types of fish, but we're also looking for the fish that are intolerant of pollution.
This is called a seine.
This is Greg Foxon, and he's one of our resident experts in water sampling.
And so what we're going to do is attempt some seine pools here and just see what we get. Okay, stop right there, Robert.
All right.
We've got one critter. Operating procedures have us do a 400-meter stretch of stream. Go ahead and probe that undercut bank and woody debris there. Ready? Yep. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. I saw something.
Oh, and a crawfish.
We got a crawfish?
Yeah.
And of course, as we collect these fish, we count them and take note of what species we have. And then when we're finished sampling, we let the fish go. Just get on the other side of that little submerged log right there. These are shiner species, fish that are very sensitive to changes in water and habitat quality. So we've come to the end of the reach of stream that we're sampling, and we've actually encountered 2 species of fish, the most tolerant species and the most intolerant species. This is the money ball right here.
We're really happy to see these individual species here today. What that tells us is, compared to the samples that we've done in the past here, that this stream is in good shape. It hasn't degraded over time, so landowners in this watershed are doing a great job maintaining their conservation practices.
The water systems are all related to each other, and they all are touching. So the best part of my job is getting to work with those landowners. You know, the steps through and the final results. It's very rewarding, very satisfying, just helping those people help their land.